we're talking hit the road loadouts today, and I apologize for not making this video sooner. I've been covering a lot of the other weapons, so, check out my channel if you guys missed any of my recent uploads, and I want to mention right off the bat that I will be covering hit the road kind of in two ways. So, today we're going to be talking about some of your best loadouts, some of the best options, some of, some team building techniques, and who should be running what, and how you should be using those builds to the best of your abilities. I will be linking timestamps below if you guys want to just skip to those loadouts and you don't care about anything I'm about to say. And then the other thing I want to cover is all of the different challenges. So you know how you stop and you have to go grab blue glow or defend the van for a little bit of time or go save survivors, whatever. I will be talking about all of those in a separate video instead of doing like one big ultimate guide. I kind of wanted to split it up into two different sections. So without further ado, let's get right into your team and what you should be doing. So obviously you're escorting a vehicle. You're going through the map and you need to defend it at different checkpoints, and there will be zombies with increasing difficulty along the way. I highly recommend Dragon Slash. So we're going to be getting right into the fact that you are going to need what I call a main DPS, damage per second, or a main damaging person. You need somebody with a Dragon Slash or Shockwave or Minigun. I'll be linking some of those videos in the description below if you guys want to check them out. I do want to mention that those videos that I just showed on screen are meant for minimizing the downtime between those abilities as if you were using them in a normal mission. If you're going to be using it for Hit the Road, then I'd highly recommend what I'm going to mention a little bit more later about Blast from the Past and Coconuts and survivability and speed perks and things that help more with this objective rather than just minimizing the cooldown. There are lots of ways to damage lots of enemies. We tried using decoy in the very early days, but it is tried and true that Dragon Slash is basically the best way to go. Now, in all of the builds I'll be showing today, this is not a perfect build. You do not need to copy it to the T. Plenty of you will copy exactly what I have, and if you can do that, fantastic. This will be a fantastic loadout for you, but I just want the basic concept of dealing quick, easy, agile damage effectively, and that's kind of what Dragon Scorch is for. This is not a heavy hitting thing. You won't be doing a ton of damage against a mini boss. In fact, that might actually be where a Commando Spitfire kind of build or a minigun build would be probably more effective. What you're best for is clearing lots and lots of crowds of enemies, which you will see plenty of, and the fact that you're a ninja means you can get around the map very, very fast. You'll be really good at building that radar tower as well, and you'll even be able to loot around the map, which is kind of an Outlander's job. That's kind of an optional role, but I'll be talking about that later on in the video. So this is the build that we went with. Dragon Scorch is just the best lead for Dragon Slash, period. He ups your damage, range, and effectiveness by a lot. It's the best way to go. I don't think there's another ninja that can even contend for that lead. Blast from the Past is something you're going to see on, I think, every single loadout I talk about today, and I understand that not everybody has this, but at the time of release, you have no excuse, because this is a guide to Hit the Road, and as of release, Hit the Road is giving Rex Jonesy, who unlocks Blast from the Past. So you have no excuse not to have this team perk, everybody, okay? This is going to be easy to grab, and also you can activate this because Vigor is in the shop. Okay, she's a little bit of gold. I understand that you might need to work towards her, but 100% attainable. And then Rex Jonesy is also, again, just something you get for free by beating the Hit the Road. You can do that any difficulty, not a problem. So that out of the way, if you don't have Blast from the Past, maybe you're watching this in the future, then Happy Holidays is a nice replacement, but again, that's even more rare than Blast from the Past, so you can basically do whatever you want to make this build run well. The only reason I'm using Blast from the Past in this build and all of the other builds is tankiness. You will be in the storm. Hit the Road is a little bit tricky. You will be battling lots of enemies, so running around the map, getting coconuts, and making sure you have lots of health is very, very nice, and that is why you'll also see Prehistoric Isa in all of these builds. I know she's not available as of recording. It is July 5th. She will be coming out on the 10th, so if you're watching this in the future, then you probably already have her, but if you're watching this upon release, she will be here very soon, so don't worry about that. That armor is very, very nice. She will make you nice and strong, so it's very, very nice to have her, and for this loadout, I prefer Saurian Might. I used to run Saurian Focus. Again, Fossil Southie is another hero that you might not have. He isn't announced as of recording, but I'm sure he'll come down the line. He can generate more energy, but I wasn't finding myself using too much energy. Dragon Slash is a 10-second cooldown without Happy Holidays, and I'm using Return of the Dragon. You can probably switch this out for something else, but I find that reducing that energy cost is not that bad at all. I have a thing in my eye, and I was also using Throwing Stars pretty scarcely, and Smoke Bombs aren't that common, so seeing as Dragon Slash was like the main thing I was using, energy was almost never a problem. And of course, if you're going to be using Dragon Slash, you definitely want Tail of the Dragon. You might not have her, that's okay. Again, this is not required, of course, but leaving behind that energized trail, dealing that extra energy damage to everything behind you is just a nice perk. Most everything is going to be dead in that first slash anyway if you're a higher level player, but that extra little bit of damage does help a lot, and it allows you to do some extra residual damage even after that initial Dragon Slash. And I kind of mentioned this in passing, but go in Coconuts. If you didn't get Crossbones Barrett, then shame on you, okay? Because, as I said, upon recording, the Pirate Llamas were in the game for like 2 months, so if you've been playing playing at all in the last 2 months, you should have opened a few pirate llamas. If you listen to everybody who said that they were trash, then I'm sorry. That's kind of where the shame on you comes in. But Crossbones Barrett is like a sleeper hero in the sense that the pirate set is okay, overwhelmingly average. I mean, there are some really good weapons. I did cover a lot of them. I do like the set personally, but Crossbones Barrett was just an absolute diamond in the rough because going coconuts is insanely strong. He buffs your damage and your healing by a ton. Those coconuts give you about a third of your health per coconut, and they heal you over about 20 or 30 seconds. If you have a bunch of coconuts on you, which you can get from searching bushes and containers, bushes and desert zones, mind you, so during Hit the Road, coconuts should be everywhere, then you will have no problem keeping yourself and your teammates nice and healthy because, spoiler alert, in my Constructor build I recommend down the line, he doesn't actually have coconuts, but he also has Blast in the Past. So, moving on to my Outlander build, that is probably a good way to get your teammates coconuts. Share, everybody. In my experience, you only need 5 to 10 coconuts if you use them scarcely, so they're not that big of a deal to hoard. You don't need 20 or 30 of them. Give them to your teammates, and this is an optional build, so you don't actually need to have an Outlander. I've beat it plenty of times with my friends, no damage taken and everything without an Outlander, but if you want to have somebody like this build, I kind of just threw this together. You can swap out whatever you want. The basic idea is that you are moving fast, running around the map, looting good weapons, getting your teammates some good loot, and I even threw on Archaeologist, who allows you to get that extra heavy attack efficiency. I don't have any gameplay of this because, like I said, we didn't use it, but suffice it to say, you'd be going around punching rocks, getting better weapons, getting everybody builds, making sure that you can build defenses around the van, especially at the end stage there, and get everybody set up. But like I said, just using my normal pickaxe as a Dragon Slash was perfectly fine to get plenty of builds. This isn't something you need, but I think it's something worth considering if you want to have somebody dedicated to looting. And that's where I'm just using Flash AC. You don't need Happy Holidays. So long as you have Saurian Focus generating energy, you're good to go. So this might be a little bit more expensive for people who don't have Saurian Focus. As I said, he's not an out, so I don't know when he's coming back. I'm sure he is. And then Work is just nice. Again, you can swap this out for lots of things. You could have In and Outlander, which gives you extra phase shift. You could have, Beetlejuice if you want to up your damage a little bit. You could have, phase shift increases damage if that's something you plan on. Increasing your charges so you can spam even more phase shift. And then the one that I'm really looking for is right down here, and that is where it gives you extra movement speed. That would probably be the best one if you don't want work where you're doing extra pickaxe damage. If you want to just fly around the map, that would probably be the best bang for your buck. And then of course go in coconuts, because if you're running around looting, you're going to want to be bringing back coconuts. So that's just kind of a good thing to consider. And then finally, I've been teasing it, the Constructor build. Again, Constructors are super easy. You can basically use any combination of base Kyle, power base Nox, who has like a female doppelganger. I think there's like a Penny as well, or there might even be main game. I don't know all the options, but there are lots of regeneration. But power base Nox, I think, is the base game one that everybody has access to. He just heals your base and he gives you more building health, and he heals you based on a % of your building health. So having base Kyle to buff your builds as far as they'll go means power modulation will be the most effective, but he also goes up by quite a bit, so I don't think it matters which one of these are in the lead. I prefer base Kyle in the lead because it's a little bit more effective at stopping a smasher, and it'll give you a little bit more time to keep your base alive, I think. And then of course I'm using fully contained, so the longer that base can take damage, allowing the enemies to basically kill themselves by smacking the base, the better. And then electrified floors is just nice. It's basically negligible. It's not really that much extra damage. You don't need her. But again, that's where Constructors are easy. You can just scroll through this and pick whatever you want. You can pick any hero in the game. Whatever you think is going to help you the most, you go for it. This is just something I threw together as like a full DPS Constructor. Again, as I mentioned earlier, we're using Blast from the Past with no coconuts. So you should be relying on your teammates to get you builds and coconuts to keep yourself alive. And your only job as a Constructor is to make sure that your base is down every single time the van stops so that you can keep everything nice and clean. That's especially good if you're trying to take no damage during the fight. Although, as I'm recording this, I don't think there is any banner release. So if that changes in the future, then fantastic. This is what you need. But it is currently technically unnecessary to take 0 damage. And then with my Blast from the Past loadout, I'm going Saurian Hide just for that extra armor. Saurian Might just buffs all of your range damage. That will be helpful, no doubt, but you can use Saurian Vigor, seeing as I haven't provided any healing in this build. She is, as of recording, very, very bad. This amount of health every 5 seconds sucks. If that's different in the future, then she probably got a buff, then hooray. As of now, that sucks. That's really bad. Coconuts are better. A campfire is better. Any form of healing in the entire game is better than this, but it is something if you want to have some way of healing. Now, it does take about 4 minutes to go from 0 to full, which you will have plenty of time to do, seeing as an average hit the road run is about 30 minutes. So, and that slower paced play style, seeing as you're going to have about a minute or two between objectives, maybe Saurian Vigor is going to be not that bad that overall. Nonetheless, if you don't have all the Dino Heroes, she will be great in activating Blast from the Past, so if you don't have any options, then of course you can use her to activate the team perk. And that just about wraps that up. I'm really glad to have made this video. A lot of people have been asking me, and I have a lot to say on it. And I just want to add in a little tidbit at the end here, where I think the first people who beat this without any damage taken, including me and my team, just had like 4 Dragon Slashes going around. Hit the Road is super casual. You can pretty much play it however you want. I think the most overpowered try-hard loadout would be like 2 people running Dragon Scorch, an Outlander getting everybody well equipped, a super beefy base just to make sure everything's nice and safe, and that is totally overkill. I mean, you might be wanting to do that if you're like not quite, you know, like a 130, maybe you're a 120 or a mid 116s or so, and you're trying to do the 140 run, then you might want to try that hard. But if you're a bunch of 131 players, then you're probably going to be cruising right through this, and all of you can be using Dragon Scorch. It's personally the most fun to use, although the Outlander can be pretty fun as well. That's about it though. I'm gonna get out of here. That's all the loadouts. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think. Let me know if this actually helps you guys. You know, use code Mista to check out if you guys want to support the channel. Thank you so much to everybody coming to the channel brand new. I wanted to put this at the end because I like these videos to be a little bit timeless, but again, as a release, Demon Joe France actually just gave the channel a massive shout out. I am sad to see that he's quitting the game as of now, seeing as a lot of people are giving up on this game. I think Save the World needs our support more than ever. The devs have basically alluded to the fact that they're not going to be pumping out as many major updates down the line. I hope this is untrue in the future. If you're watching this in a year scoffing at me, then fantastic. I hope that that's not the case, but I think the players giving up on the game is quite frankly the last thing it needs, seeing as if a lot of people think the devs are quitting, I don't see how the players going anywhere is going to help anything. Regardless, I'm hanging on. I'm going to keep playing this. There's nothing to worry about there. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. And then